Hallelujah. Father, I thank you this morning. I pray, Lord, that you now bless us in the Word of God again. And Lord, we thank you for this new year. We thank you, Lord, for being with us. We thank you, Father, that you never grow old. This earth grows old and we grow old and things change. But Lord, you never change.
That's right.
You're always forever the same. And you keep us, Lord, in the palm of your hand. In Jesus' name. Father, meet every need this morning. Spiritually, physically, financially, in every way. Father, let us feel the touch of the Master's hand. And let us realize without you we can do nothing. When we have nothing, we are nothing. But in Christ Jesus we live. And everybody say amen.
Amen.
Praise God. Go ahead and sit down a minute. I'll read you a familiar scripture. Jesus tells us something here to his disciples. Let me say this. First of all, God made all things. How many believe God made everything?
Amen.
Hallelujah. Everything has a place. Everything has a purpose. Everything has reason for being. Every one of us. The whole world, God, when He made it, had a reason for it. And He placed everything and put it in order as He pleased, as He willed. He made everything work in order as He wanted it. Sin came in, Satan came in, and distorted and disrupted what God made. And so, Jesus came, and this is a thought that I just want to share with you. When Jesus came, He came to create a new order of things. The first order is decaying and passing away. But Jesus came to reveal God's plan.
Thank you, Jesus.
That He would make all things new in Christ. That's a beautiful thought. The first creation of God became defiled and fallen. But when the Lord sent Jesus, His plan was to recreate and make all things new. And set everything in order in Christ. Do you believe that?
Amen.
So that now fallen man has hope in Jesus.
Yes.
The whole world has hope in Christ.
Yes. Hallelujah.
I'm glad this morning that we know that.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
When Jesus told Peter that He was going to deny Him, I preached a sermon last time I preached about Peter and how he felt about his Lord. And when the Lord told Peter He would deny Him 3 times, that he would even deny that he would even know Him. When Peter had said, I will die for you, I'll follow you, I'll go wherever you go, I'll lay down my life for you, Jesus said, before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times.
Amen. Amen.
I'm sure that struck Peter to the heart when Jesus said that. His very best friend, his closest and dearest friend, his Lord, would tell him, you will deny before men that you even know me. But Peter is still in himself. Peter is still hasn't really crossed over yet. The Lord has great plans in store for it. His great step. God has great plans in store for all of us.
Amen.
He had those plans in mind before you were born.
Amen.
God's plan for man was something great. But when sin disrupted it, God already had a plan B. He already had plan B ready, put in place.
Amen.
So that no matter what Satan thinks or how hard he fights to destroy and kill and to make God's work, God's creation a total loss, God had a plan. And Peter, being brokenhearted at what Jesus said, because he didn't really understand God's plan. He didn't really understand what God had for his life.
No.
But Peter, your life isn't lost. I tell you this morning, your life and my life is not lost. God has a plan for you. Amen. Plan for me. He's had it all of our lifetime. And it's still unfolding every day. Amen. I know what God called me when I was a child, but His plan in my life keeps unfolding. It keeps revealing itself. Same way it is with all of us. Amen. God's not through with us until He's through with us.
Amen. Amen.
Hello.
Amen.
Praise God. Raise your hand and say, the Lord's not through with me yet.
The Lord's not through with me.
Because I'm still here. I'm still here. So God's not through with me yet. His plan and purpose for my life is still being revealed, still unfolding. But I want to make this point very clear. It's in Christ. Yes. Everybody say in Christ.
Christ.
When Peter realized what Jesus had said to him, he couldn't just call Jesus a liar. Even though he did deny it. No, I'll never do that. Many of them said it too. Many of the disciples said the same thing. Oh, I'll never do that. Jesus didn't. He did not rebuke Peter. He didn't correct him again. He just simply told him what would happen. No matter what Peter's response was, Jesus knew what would happen. That's what would take place. But more than that, Jesus knew what would happen in Peter's life further down the road. Amen. So therefore, knowing Him being Lord, knowing what the future holds. How many believes the Lord knows what your future holds?
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah. And so knowing that gives me a sense of confidence. It gives me a sense of rest and peace of mind, knowing that God has my future in His hands.
Amen. Amen.
Don't be troubled about your future. That's what Jesus, the next thing that He said to him, do not let your heart be troubled.
Yes. Amen.
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 It's glad to know that God has our future in His hands.
Amen.
Sometimes I wonder about my own life. So Lord, you know, I get perplexed and troubled and kind of wondering about things. And all the while, the Lord's saying you're worried about too many things, you're troubled about too many things, you're trying to take too much on yourself, and that's not your responsibility. That's not up to you. That's up to me.
That's right.
You take one day at a time and get close to me and walk with me, and that's all you need to concern yourself with.
Amen.
I'll take care of the rest.
Amen.
So at that, I leave it at that and say, Lord, okay, my life is in your hands. How many believe that your life is in His hands?
Amen.
Your life is.
That's right.
So don't worry about your life. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about what you're going to do next week or next year or next whatever. Just take one day at a time. Know that you're in God's hand and that you love Him and that you grow. As you draw close to Christ, as you draw close to Him, you'll find out that it's easier to love people. It's easier to minister to people. It's easier to make Christ known the closer you draw to Him.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
You want me to say that again? The closer you draw to Christ, the easier it is for you to make Him known to the world.
Amen.
And that's all that's really important in your life right now, is to just make sure that Christ is real in you, and then Christ will be manifest in you.
That's right. Amen.
That's what's important.
Amen.
What we do down the road, what we do tomorrow, is in His hand.
Amen.
That's right.
And Jesus told Peter and the rest, let not your heart be troubled. If I'm going to deny you, Lord, that's quite a mouthful. I don't know. You're troubling me here. That really upsets me. I'm disturbed about this.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
I need some reassurance here. Are you going to leave me hanging here? You're telling me I'm going to deny you, or are you going to just leave me hanging? Jesus said, don't let your heart be troubled, Peter.
Yeah.
Well, Lord, you just told me I was going to deny you before men. Jesus said, don't let your heart be troubled.
Praise the Lord.
You believe in God?
Amen.
Now, I wonder, why did He say that? You believe in God, believe also in me. The Jewish mind was that they believed in God, Jehovah. That God made all things, and that God was supreme, and that God was God, and that they had the law, and they had the prophets, and they had the truth, and they had the light that was given to the Jewish people, and they had, they knew the true God. They had confidence in that. Jesus said, if you have confidence in God, if you believe that God is creator of all things, if you believe that God has called the Jewish people, Israel, out for a people for Himself, if you have believed all the prophets have said, if you have believed all that is written, if you believe that God is God and there's no other God,
Amen.
and that you're sure of this,
Yes.
then have confidence in me.
Yes.
If you believe in God, believe in me.
That's right.
Amen.
In my Father's house are many mansions. Now this is something else. Did you ever wonder why Jesus said, if it were not so, I would have told you? They didn't ask that. They didn't ask Him anything about His Father's house. But He said, if it wasn't so, I would have told you. We can rest assured that what Jesus tells us and what it is that He wants us to know, He will tell us.
Amen.
Sometimes we want to know more than what He wants us to know, but take it easy.
There you go. Thank you, Jesus.
Relax. Don't be so apprehensive. Don't be so anxious. If the Lord wants you to know something, He'll tell you.
Amen.
And whatever it is He tells you, you can rest assured it's true.
Amen. Amen.
Remember what Jesus said when they asked Him to teach Him to pray? Lord, teach us to pray. And He said, give us this day our daily bread. So whatever it is God wants you to have today,
Amen.
He'll give it to you.
Yes.
Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't be concerned about the past. God knows your future. And if He wants to tell you something about your future, He'll tell you.
That's right.
Amen.
Just like He did Peter. But what He had to tell Peter was pretty upsetting. Lord, I'm going to deny you. Can't you got something better than that to tell me? I mean, don't you have something a little bit better to tell me than what I'm going to do in the future? Lord says, first thing you're going to do is deny me. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear how I'm going to fail the Lord. I want to know how I'm successful for the Lord.
Amen.
I don't want to hear about how I'm going to make mistakes and go the wrong way or say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. I want to hear about how good everything's going to be. But the Lord said, first thing's going to happen, you're going to deny me.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. Some of us think, oh, I'm going to do real good. Well, the first thing that happens to you, what happens to you? You fall down on your face.
Yeah.
Amen.
Woo, I feel good in the Lord. God got hold of my life. He's going to do something in my life. What happened next? Motor blows up the car. Huh? What happened next? Something comes along, you got money. You got to have money, you got it. Something happens to your kids. Something happens to you, to your wife, to your husband, to your mom, your dad, to somebody in the family. Something goes wrong. Your whole world began to turn upside down. Peter said, Lord, what don't know. Can you imagine how he must have felt when the Lord told him that? But he is the Lord and he don't lie. You know, and so my God, you know, Lord, if you said that, I guess that's going to happen. I don't like that. No. Peter was all upset. He was troubled. He was shaking. I'd been shaking, wouldn't you? If the Lord tell you, boy, you're going to deny me. Before the cock crows, you'll deny me. But Lord, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face. Lord, I'm ready to die for you. I'm ready to go with you wherever you want to go. And the Lord says, you're going to deny me. Pow! But he said, Peter, don't be disturbed. We'll talk about reassurance.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Talk about reassurance.
Yes, amen.
Have you ever had something slap you in the face and the Lord says, don't be troubled? Have you ever had something go wrong in your life and you felt like you fell all the way down to the bottom and the next thing the Lord says is, don't be troubled?
Amen. Come on.
Brother Bob, in other words, turn the other cheek. I mean, how many times has it happened in my life when things go wrong? I say, God, what's happening here? I mean, it's getting kind of nitty gritty. We're getting close to the edge. Maybe we're about the end of our rope here. You know, where are you at?
Jesus.
That's right.
We're in trouble.
Thank you, Jesus.
I mean, this ain't good news, Lord. That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting something better. But this comes along now, Lord. You got to give me something here. You got to tell me something.
Yes.
How many's been there?
Amen.
So the next thing the Lord says, do not let your hearts be troubled.
Yes.
Now, this is what I want to get to. In verse 19 of 14th John, he says, yet a little while and the world sees me no more. But you see me. Why did they see Jesus? He revealed himself to them.
That's right. Come on.
But they were men like everybody else. The disciples were men just like me and you. They were men just like everybody.
Hallelujah to God.
But he revealed himself to them.
Amen.
He called them to follow him. He called them to teach them. He called them to make known his self, his word to them. To teach them, to train them, to show them. So that they would be a witness of him. But they had not as yet really come to redemption. They were only following the Lord as the Lord walked, speaking to his own disciples in faith.
Amen.
Now I want to make a point here. When Jesus called his disciples, one time he said to them, I'm going to send you out. And I'm going to send you out to cast out devils, heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the leper. Freely you have received, freely give. And so he sent them out at one time, 2 by 2. And they went across all the land of Israel, and all the cities and towns, preaching the gospel and healing the sick. How many remembers reading that in the Bible? Now, we don't know how long this lasted. We don't know how extensive it was. But for a time period in Jesus' ministry, the disciples went out and preached the gospel and healed the sick. And when they came back to report to him all the good things that happened, they were all excited. They were all joyful. They were all just beside themselves of the things that was happening that God had done. And they said, devils are subject unto us through your name.
Amen.
We can cast out devils in your name.
Amen.
And what is the first thing Jesus said to them? I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
Amen. Come on.
I beheld Satan
That's right. Amen.
as lightning fall from heaven.
Come on. Thank you, Jesus.
Rejoice not, because devils are subject unto you through my name.
That's right.
But rather rejoice because your name is written in heaven.
Amen. Hallelujah to God.
His name, he said, your name is written there. Now, Jesus Christ was speaking because he knows the future. He knows what your plan for your life is. He knows who you are.
That's
to us, He speaks to us as those that are in Him, not somebody outside of Him, but those that are in Him.
That's right. Come on.
Thank you, Lord.
So Jesus calls and speaks things that be not as though they were.
That's right.
That be not as though they were.
That's right.
Your name is written in heaven. They hadn't even been redeemed. The Holy Ghost hadn't even come into them yet. But He said, your name is written in heaven. I've called you and ordained you, and you are mine, and I know my sheep, and my sheep know my voice, and they will follow me.
Amen.
Yes.
Now listen. So here's the thing. He said, the world sees me no more. They will see me after a little while no more. That is the man, Christ Jesus, who walked among the people and showed forth His glory in the world. They would no longer see that. And the world will see me no more. The world will see me no more.
Amen.
Oh, what a sorrowful statement. If you think about it, what a sorrowful, sad thing. That the world who rejected Christ, that this great, wonderful man who came and proclaimed the good news and healed the sick and raised the dead and cleansed the leper and made the blind see and the lame walk and the deaf to hear and the dumb to speak. He who came with such power and grace and glory and showed forth His glory to the world.
That's right.
They rejected Him.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
They will see me no more. Remember what Jesus said one time to the people? He says, I am the light of the world. He says, walk in the light as long as you have the light.
That's right. Amen.
As long as I am in the world, I'm the light of the world. Walk in the light while you have it.
Amen.
The time's coming when you won't have the light. It will be gone. And so the world rejects Christ. Jesus said, they will see me no more. But He says, you see me.
Amen.
Amen.
You see me.
That's right. Come on.
Praise the Lord. Amen.
You see me. And because I live, you shall live also.
Amen.
Now, the Lord quickened something in my spirit here. When God speaks in such a manner, He's talking to that person that He has created in Christ. He's not just talking to the man that was created from his mother's womb.
Yes, yes.
That's right.
He's not just speaking to a man who came forth into this world from his mama and his daddy. But He's talking to a creature
Amen.
that has been created in Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Anew.
Yeah.
Created anew in Christ. I've called you out.
Yes.
Because why? You're mine.
Amen.
Amen.
Because I live, you will live also.
Amen.
That's right. Come on.
The world won't see me, but you see me. You see me because I've called you out. You are mine, and because I live, you will live.
Amen.
Let me tell you something. If we believe in God, if we believe that God made all things and created all things, Jesus said, now believe in me because God is going to make a new creation in me. Everything's going to be new in me.
Amen.
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 When the Lord saved me and the Lord saved you, you know what the Holy Ghost said? Let the real Bob Joyce stand up. When the Lord saved you, He said, let the real Bill stand up.
Amen.
When the Lord saved you back there, Bill, He said, let the real Bill, now let him stand to his feet.
Amen.
You say, what are you talking about?
That's right.
Talking about the old Bill. I'm not talking about the old man you was.
That's right.
I'm talking about the new man you are.
Amen.
In Christ.
Amen.
And that's the man that's going to shake the world. That's like you talked about this morning. It just fits right in. It's not the old man that's going to do anything, but it's the new man in Christ.
Amen.
Let not your heart be troubled.
Amen.
Who's he talking to? He's talking to the old man. He's talking to that natural man. He's talking to that man that's weighted down with his problem. He's talking to the man who's weighted down with his sin. He's talking to the man who's weighted down with his doubts and his fears and his unbelief. But Jesus said, I know you. I know what's going to happen to you. He said, don't be troubled about the thing that's going to come your way, because I've got you in the palm of my hand. And nothing's going to take you away from me. Nothing's going to destroy you. Oh, you're going to go through the fire for a little bit. You're going to be tried. It's gold is tried in the fire. But don't be afraid. I know the end from the beginning. I see what's in your life ahead of you.
Glory to God.
Why?
Oh, hallelujah.
Because it's not just me in myself, but it's me in Him.
Amen.
Hello.
Amen.
Hallelujah. We can't lose, folks. We're not going to lose. We're winning in Christ Jesus.
Thank God for it.
As a matter of fact, you've
Hallelujah.
already won.
That's right.
Whenever you have doubts about winning, that's Satan and that's your own flesh that's speaking.
Thank you, Father.
It's casting doubt into your mind.
That's right.
But when you realize the truth that is in Jesus,
Thank you.
when you realize the work that God has done in Christ, and that you're in Him, you are a winner in Christ.
Thank you, Jesus.
And it's not because of what you do for Him. It's because you're in Him.
Amen.
He works out your life.
That's right.
He works out your future.
Amen.
He works out what you're going to do. And I just want to leave it all in His hands. Lord, if this is what you call me to do, if this is what you want me to do in life, then you'll make the way. God, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but you know how you're going to do it. Lord, I don't know what's going to happen to me next, but you know what's going to happen to me next. My life is in your hand. Hallelujah. Everything about me is in your hand. My economy is in your hand. My money is in your hand. My family is in your hand.
Amen.
Because He called me by His grace. He
Hallelujah.
called us all
Yeah.
by His grace.
Better believe it.
Oh, what new things God will make
That's right.
in Christ Jesus. Behold, I will work a work in your day, He told the Jews. You will wonder and perish. Though it be declared unto you, you will not believe. But behold, I will make a new work in the earth. A new work? What's that new work? It's a renewal, a recreation in Christ Jesus.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Adam's race had fallen, but Christ's race has risen.
Amen.
Hallelujah! The devil's crown is going to hell, but the Lord's crown is going to heaven. They say you sure are loud. Well, I can't help that. When you get to heaven, you see how loud it is. Jesus said, my Father's house are many mansions. That word mansion is dwelling place.
Amen.
Now this is something here that's beautiful. In my Father's house, where does God dwell? Huh? He dwells in the humble heart, the meek spirit, in the highest heaven. That's where He dwells. He said, in my Father's house, there are many dwelling places.
That's mine. That's right.
I go to prepare a place. Now listen, when God, glory to God, if you'll let this sink into your mind this morning to see the greatness and the glory of the Lord.
Glory to God.
When God created all things in the beginning, He had a place and a time for all things. There was a place, a time, a purpose for everything He created in this natural, physical world. In the universe and on the earth and everywhere. But Jesus said, now I go away to prepare a place for you. A dwelling place for you. Where is that dwelling place? What dwelling place has Christ prepared that He's created for me and you? It's in Him.
Amen.
It is in Him. Somebody says, well, we're going to go to heaven. That's part of it.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, sir. It's a physical, tangible place, but it's also a spiritual place. The Bible says that we are seated with Him. Somebody says, I'm seated with Christ in heavenly places. Behold, I will prepare a place for you, that where I am.
There you go.
Woo! Hallelujah! We're not just talking about heaven and the sweet by and by. It is there. That's part of it, and we're going there. Someday we're going to go to heaven and be with Jesus.
Amen.
Do you believe that?
Amen.
But He says, where I am, there you may be also.
That's right.
Where is He? Where is He? He's seated at the right hand of power. He's ascended into heaven, far above all principalities and powers, and all powers in heaven are subject unto Him. Praise God, He is ascended at the right hand of glory. He's right there seated at the right hand of the Father. He says, where I am, that's where you're going to be. So where are we at this morning? Where are we at? What has God created? What is the purpose of our life? What is the purpose of Jesus coming? What is the reason for His death, His burial, and resurrection? What is the reason for our redemption? So that we may be seated with Him in heavenly places, in the heavenly places with Him. Brother, it's not the same thing that you think about on earth. It's not from Adam's race or anything you see in this physical world. It is in a spiritual place that we are seated with Christ.
Amen. Glory be to God.
Think about it.
Hallelujah.
Now let me explain that. I believe everything that God considers tangible in heaven, in the heavenlies, is also spiritual.
Yes.
Let me explain that. How many believe we're going to go to heaven?
Yes.
It's a real place,
Yes.
a physical place,
Amen.
a tangible place. You believe that?
Yes.
Come on now, raise your hand up there if you believe it.
Yes.
How many believe there's pearly gates? How many believe there's streets made of gold? My God, how many believe there's walls made of jasper?
Amen.
And sardis and diamonds? God, how many believe that? I believe that.
Amen.
Is that all that's just representative of the church? Well, I believe it may be, but it's also tangible. It's a spiritual thing, but it's also a tangible thing.
Yes.
Let me explain that. How many believe there's a tree of life?
Amen.
How many believe there's a river of life?
Amen.
Do you believe that?
Amen.
How many believe if you died and went to heaven and the Lord would allow you to see it, you'd go to heaven, you'd see that river of life flowing from the throne of God? Do you believe that?
Amen.
You believe you'll eat of the trees and the fruit of the tree of life? You believe that?
Amen.
Do you really believe it's there?
Yes.
Well, did you know that what's there is a spiritual thing, and that what you partake of right now is the same spiritual fruit, and the same spiritual meat, and the same spiritual water, and the places in Christ in the heavenly is right now in your spirit that Jesus created in you.
Right, glory. Amen.
Woo! Glory.
Glory to God.
Lord.
Why do I know I'm going to heaven? How wise is I'm so sure that I'm going to go to some tangible place called heaven? How am I so sure about that? Because Jesus purchased it at the cross. And He's already placed me there.
That's right.
He's already placed me there. Somebody says, that's crazy. That's crazy because you don't see it in the spiritual world. If you see it in the spiritual world, you understand that where I'm at is in that heavenly place in Christ. And I'm eating of that fruit and I'm drinking of that water and I'm rejoicing in His glory. And I see it. I don't see it all, but I see it in part.
Amen. Praise God.
So that now, just as He called me in faith, now listen to this, just as He called His disciples and spoke to them in faith, called those things that be not as though they were.
Amen.
It's exactly how we live now in Christ.
That's right.
Do you hear me? Calling those things that be not as though they were. What does that mean? That means that I'm saved by faith. Praise God, by grace are you saved through faith. That not of yourselves is a gift of God. We're already saved. What does it save me? Save means I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm with the Lord wherever He's at. I'm with Him. I'm saved forevermore because I'm with Him. Somebody said, well, you're still here. You ain't gone anywhere. That's true. Physically, I'm still here. But in the spirit, I'm gone, man. Hallelujah. Amen. Sometimes we're just gone, and sometimes somebody gets so deep in the Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is so heavy upon them and in them and through them, they're so filled with it that they're gone, man. They don't know what's going on in the service. They don't know what's going on around them. They don't know what somebody's saying to them. They can't understand what everybody don't feel like they do. But they're gone somewhere. Amen. How many like to have that happen to you? Get so caught up in the Spirit that you lost, man. You gone.
Amen.
Where's Bob at? I don't know. He's gone somewhere. He ain't here. Well, his body's laying there. Yeah, his body's laying there, but his Spirit's gone somewhere. See, what I'm saying is, oh my God, heaven is a real place.
Yes, it is.
A tangible place.
What
You can feel, touch, see, smell, behold.
That's right.
But as much, I believe, as it is a tangible place, it is also a spiritual place.
Amen.
What did the Bible say that when we're changed and the Lord comes and takes us out of here, what's going to happen to our bodies? Going to be changed. Into a what?
Glorified.
A glorified body. What else?
Spiritual body.
A spiritual. Do you hear that?
Amen.
A spiritual body.
That's right.
A spiritual body. Well, it's tangible. You can feel it. It can even eat.
That's right.
It can drink. It can eat. It can feel. It can touch. It can. But you know what else it can do? It can walk through walls.
That's right.
Yeah, glory. You know what else it can do? It can take off flying. It can just take off in the air and take off. It can disappear. It's a spiritual body. So everything that we have now in this physical, fleshly body of ours, this decaying, dying body that we live in, what we partake of in Christ,
Amen.
is by faith.
Yes.
We receive. And we enter in to that heavenly place. My God, you're not hearing me. You ain't hearing me. We're entering into that heavenly place that's prepared for us. I go away to prepare a place for you.
That's
That
right.
where I am,
There you may
you will be also.
That's right.
He says, because I live, you will live.
That's right.
Who's he calling? He's calling out Peter. He's calling out that man in Christ. He's not calling out the dead man. He's calling out the new man. He's not calling out the Peter that was born of his father. He's calling out the Peter that is born in Christ. He's calling out the new creation that God makes in Christ Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
When God saves you, He calls you as a new creature.
That's right.
Somebody raise your hand and say, everything you see in me is the real me. I'm a new creation. I'm a new creature that Christ made. So when you're walking along in life every day, don't worry about tomorrow. When you walk out here today and you're walking around, consider yourself, Brother Bill, as walking in heavenly places.
Amen.
Just,
Oh, hallelujah.
I'm still here, Lord, but by faith I know there's something going on inside me. And God, something inside me is happening, Lord. You've caused something to happen in me. You've caused something to happen in my life, in my heart, in my spirit, in my mind, my soul.
That's right.
I know I'm still here, but I ain't here. I know I'm still me, but I ain't me. Glory to God. I know that I'm me, man, but I ain't really me. What happened to me? Something happened to me.
Yes.
Don't let your heart be troubled.
That's right.
Believe it. All right, Lord. All right. All right. You're asking me to go right to the very edge. All right. I want you to trust me. It's all right, Peter. I see what's going to happen to you. I know your life. I know who you are. I know what you're made out of. You think you're made out of one thing, you're really something else. You think you're so strong, but you're really weak. You think you're a bold one, but you're a coward. But that's all right. That's all right. We come to the Lord, we say, Lord, I ain't worth nothing. God, I really mean well, and I want to do right, but Lord says, I know what you're made of. I know your heart. I know what's in your life. I know what's in your spirit. I know what's on your mind. You can't fool me. I know all about you.
That's right.
Don't be in trouble. Don't be in trouble about that. See, that's the hope God gives us in Christ. That's the hope He gives every one of us. Today, every day, He gives us that same hope.
Yes, He does.
As a Christian, we say the same thing. Lord, I failed you. I haven't really done like all I should have done. I haven't prayed. I haven't read your Bible like I should have done. Lord, I'm just a failure. I failed you, Lord. I ain't served you like I ought to. Forgive me. Lord looks at you and says, I know all about you.
That's right.
But the reason why you feel like you do is for one reason only. You take your eyes off of me and you put it on everything else. And your old self and your old ways and your old flesh comes in there and he wants to rule your life.
Praise you, Jesus.
I know what you're going to do. I know what you're going to do before you do it.
Praise you, Jesus.
I know. But there's a place beside me. There's a place beside me that I've made for you. And this is where I want you to be. Somebody says, God, I want to do great works for you. I want to serve you with all my heart. I want to do great and mighty things for you. And the Lord says, all I want from you is to stay right in this place beside me. Because when you're there with me, then all those hopes and dreams and desires and all those good intentions you have for me come out of you.
Amen.
And what I want to fulfill in your life is fulfilled. Because you found your place in me.
That's right.
How do we get people stirred up? Our sermons get so close so many times. How do we get people stirred up about the Lord? If we want them to be stirred up, be happy. We are happy ourselves. How do we get people excited about the Lord? We get excited ourselves. And when you get excited about the Lord yourself, you're not really so concerned about everybody else. And suddenly everybody starts getting excited about the Lord. And you say, well, how did that happen? You might be so happy in the Lord, you'd be rejoicing and in the Lord, crying or singing and shouting or whatever. You look over there, somebody else is crying and singing and shouting. You look at it and say, well, I wonder what caused that. And then you begin to realize, hey man, it wasn't anything but just the Lord working and doing what He wanted to do.
That's right. Hallelujah.
I'm all about you, He says.
Praise you, Jesus.
But don't let your heart be troubled.
All about us. We're teenagers.
Don't let it get you down.
That's right.
I'm going to prepare a place for you.
Amen.
That where I am, my God, are we with Him?
That's right.
Are we with Him now?
Amen.
Is He with us now? That where I am. He didn't say where I'm going to be. Huh? I go to prepare a place for you, and where I'm going to be, you're going to be. He says where I am.
That's right.
There you may be lost. So in Christ's mind, He's already there. He's already there. He hadn't even paid. He ain't dropped the blood shed. He ain't shed His blood yet, but it's already done. Already God. He hadn't died, buried, been risen again, but it's done.
Amen.
The work is complete in Him.
Amen.
Yes, he did.
How can he say that? He was a slave. He was a lamb slave from the foundation of the world.
Amen.
Amen.
All he had to do is just manifest himself. It's just like us going to heaven. We're already there. He just ain't manifested all yet. Hello?
That's right.
Amen.
It's just like us being with Jesus, Jesus being with us. He's with us. He just hadn't manifested himself yet, but he's here.
Amen. What kind of
You don't hear what I'm saying.
Amen.
He's here. Do you feel somehow or other you can't have the feeling? Somebody says, well, it ain't all go on the feeling. You know, joy in the Lord, it ain't on the feeling. Well, you can lose your joy and never know you lost it. You don't feel it. Right? You don't believe you can feel the joy, how do you know you got it? I don't go by feelings. I go by faith. But somehow or another, the Lord designed us. There's something inside me that tells me, hey, there's some joy there. There's some peace that's going on.
Yes.
There's some satisfaction here. I'm content. I'm happy. I couldn't be any happier. I asked Brother Bill this morning, how you doing? How's Christmas? If it was any better, I couldn't stand it. Amen? We couldn't stand it. But there's something about the Lord that He just makes you to know. Man, there's something real here. There's something good here. I want to stay right here. I don't want to move away from this spot. I want to be right here. Of course, it's good. That's where I want you to be. Right there. But Lord, I want to go over here and do this. Lord says, don't worry about over there. Just stay right where you are. I'll get you there. If I want you to be there, you'll get there.
Amen.
I'd rather get there with the Lord than get there without Him.
Amen.
The Bible says, Proverbs says, better is a little with righteousness than a lot without it.
Yes.
Better is a little with righteousness than a whole lot without it.
Yes.
I want to be right where I'm at.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Okay. He said, if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself. That where I am, there you may be also. Every one of us this morning is born again, are yearning to be with Jesus. We're yearning to see Him. How many's yearning to see Him? You know what that is? You know what that feeling really is? You know what that all amounts to? Is love. Love Him. God knows you love Him. God knows you want to see Him. We have so many times in our lives wanting to see people, meet people. Some people we almost worship. Some people we just almost adore them so much. We think so highly of some people that we've known in our life. And we like to be around certain people because they encourage us. They're just fun to be with. Or they're just likable. They're just, you can't help but like them. You just like to be around. Right? Ain't that right? You just like to be around certain people, man. That's the way it is with us and Jesus. Lord, you know how I feel. I just want to be around you. So likable and so wonderful and so good. I just want to see you, Lord. I just want to be next to you. I just want to look at you and see how you look like.
Amen.
Amen.
Is your hair brown or white or what is it, Lord? I just want to know what you look like.
Realize His love for us.
Hey, how many feels that way? If you don't, you need to get out and get saved.
Amen.
Because He's our God. He's our Lord, our King. And we adore Him. And we worship every inch of Him. We worship every speck of Him. We worship every hair that grows on His head. We worship everything about Him. Hallelujah! We worship the ground He walks on.
Amen.
Do you ever hear that expression? Think so much of somebody who just worship the ground they walk on?
I haven't told you.
Think about Jesus. He made the ground you walk on. Hello?
Yes, He did.
He just not only walked on the ground, He made that ground. Amen?
That's right.
And we want to see Him. But you know what? That doesn't discourage me that I don't see Him. All the while, it encourages me Because He's given me His promise. And not only His promise, He's given me His Spirit. And not only has He given me His Spirit, He's given me a place beside Him. He's given me a place beside Him. What a privilege it is to walk with God. What a privilege it is to hear His words and to trust Him. And He speaks to your heart in the most solemn, tenderest way.
That's right.
You might not really hear His voice like you hear mine, but you hear it just the same. It's just as real.
That's right.
It's just as good, just as loud, just as beautiful, more beautiful than any voice you could ever hear. As He speaks to your spirit, and He says, "Be not troubled. I'm with you."
That's right.
Don't be upset about your problem. Don't be upset about your failure. I go to prepare a place for you. You have a place beside me. Don't wander off, son. Don't let the enemy attract your mind away from me. Let your mind be stayed on me. Think of the truths that I give you. They will transform you. Your mind, you'll be transformed by the renewing of your mind in me.
That's right.
So that the real you that I've created for myself in me comes out of you. And what it really is Christ in us. You know what the Lord likes more than anything? You know the beauty that He likes more than anything, any other beauty that there is? It's His own beauty. You know what the colors that He likes more than any colors? It's the colors He picks out for Himself. You know what the furniture He likes? The furniture He likes best and He picks out for Himself. He don't what you pick out. He wants to furnish you with what He picks out.
Amen.
He don't want to dress you with something you like. He wants to dress you with something He likes.
Amen.
He don't want to clothe you with your righteousness. He wants to clothe you with the righteousness of Christ. Hallelujah! Woo! Glory to God!
Hallelujah.
Woo! Hallelujah! My God, we're living in that spiritual realm. We're walking in that heavenly place. Jesus is with us right now because He said He was. That's what pleases Him. For us to believe that and know that and rest assured our hearts before Him. Even though we don't see Him, one day we will. He's going to reveal Himself. And how glad we're going to be. How wonderful it's going to be. How blessed it's going to be when He finally manifests Himself to the world. It says, Him!
That's right.
Look at me, behold me in all my glory. Hallelujah.
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 The right mind right now.
Thank you, Lord.
Until then, my heart will go on singing. Hallelujah. Until then, with joy I'll carry on. Until the day my eyes behold that city. Until the day He calls me home. Until then, my heart will go on singing. Hallelujah! I don't sing, but my heart goes on singing.
Hallelujah.
Why?
Thank you, Father
Because
God.
He's put me in that place with Him.
Hallelujah.
And that place is a spiritual place as well as a real tangible place. And one day that tangible, that real spiritual place I'm in right now is going to manifest itself in its tangible way. And I'm going to live in a spiritual body. And I'm going to walk and talk with the angels because He said I would.
That's right. Hallelujah.
What kind of power is that, man? That's pure power.
Yes, it is. Hallelujah.
I said that's pure power.
Glory to God.
I can't quit. You know why? Because the Holy Ghost ain't through. Until then. Somebody says until then.
Amen.
I ask
Hallelujah.
you this morning. Do you know? Do you know that you're in that spiritual place?
Thank you.
That heavenly place with Christ? Does He embrace you? Do you feel His arms surround you?
Amen.
Do you hear His voice gently speaking to your heart?
Yes. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Oh,
Do you know that? That's the place He went to prepare.
That's right. Glory to God.
Quit thinking about golden mansions. It's okay. I don't want a golden mansion. I want Jesus.
He's the source of it.
Don't think about just golden streets. I don't just care about walking on golden streets. I want to walk with Jesus.
Amen.
We feast on His love.
I just see walk with Him beside an old creek somewhere that wasn't a golden street. It's law. It's I'm with Jesus.
Amen.
amen. Thank you.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's the way it is right now.
Yes, thank you.
That's the way it is right now.
Yes, Lord.
We're walking with Jesus in a dirty world. We're walking with Jesus in a darkened world. We're walking with Jesus in a world that is lost and undone without God and His Son. We're walking in a world that is degraded and fallen down. We're walking in a world that Satan has destroyed and corrupted,
That's right.
polluted, wickedness and ungodliness reign everywhere.
That's right.
But we're walking with Jesus.
Amen.
Just like He was here on this earth when things was corrupt, just as corrupt as they are, but He was alive in the world.
That's right.
He says, I prepare a place for you. The world will see me no more, He says. But you do. Do you see me? Because I live, He said, you will live. What? Who's He talking about? The new me in Christ. Because I live. Tim, you will live. He called you out of the darkness. He called you out of traditions of men. He called you out of ignorance. He called us all out of ignorance and darkness and misunderstanding into His marvelous light. Now we know Him in spirit. Now we see Him for what He truly is.
Amen.
Now we understand. Now we know. Hallelujah. It was a wonder to walk with a man who could raise the dead and walk on the water. But now we know. We know who He truly is. We understand now. He's so glorious. He's more glorious now than He was when He was here. Hallelujah. Jesus said, He that believes on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than he shall do.
That's right.
Because I go to the Father.
Amen.
That's right.
He's more glorious now than He ever was.
Amen.
Hello.
Amen.
I said He's more glorious today than He ever was.
Amen.
Somebody says, I don't see any dead raising. You ain't got your eyes open. They're raising all over the world. People are coming to Christ everywhere. They're coming out of their dead sin and into life eternal.
Amen. Yeah, they sure are.
If the dead was raised, you wouldn't believe it anyway. Forget the dead raising the dead. If you want to raise the dead, go do it. That ain't going to save anybody. God can raise the dead. I mean, believe He does. Heal the sick, raise dead, open the eyes, blind, and do all that. I've seen Him do it in my life, your life, everybody's life. That don't save anybody. That just kind of gets people excited. Woo! Whoa, glory to God. They go off and go their own way. Forget about the Lord. But when the Lord starts raising something in here, then we don't forget about Him. Something grabbed a hold of us, won't let go. Jesus got a hold of my life. He won't let me go. Jesus got a hold of my life. He won't let me go. Oh, glory to God. So he said, why do you sing that? Because it's real.
Amen.
It just comes out of me like that. I can't help it. It just comes out. Something gets a hold of us. And He's not letting me go. And I said, Lord, don't ever let me go. Lord God, I'm in a good place here. Don't ever let me get out of this place. This is where I want to be, right here with you. I just want to be right here. Hallelujah. Lord, Brother Bill, the Lord just brought a word to my spirit. Refresh. Refresh. Raise your hands up. Say, Lord, let me feel that refreshing. Times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. Jesus, the heavens must receive until the times of restitution of all things. And the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. That's where I want to be. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's where I want to be refreshed, renewed, alive. Praise God. Alive. Everybody say I'm alive right now. I'm alive right now. I'm not dead. I'm alive. Hallelujah.
Don't you wish you'd get up here and preach? Amen? Do you feel like preaching, Bill? Tim, you want to get up here and preach? Does it make you want to say something? Does it make you want to shout? Does it make you want to run? Does it make you want to glorify God? Hallelujah. God, I wish the church was packed out and running out the front door. People need to hear the good news of Jesus.
Yes, amen. Hallelujah.
Turn around and look at somebody and say, boy, it sure is good. Look at him and say, I don't want to leave.
Yes, it sure.
Look at him and say, I don't want to go home. God, I tell you what, it's real. It's real right now. Brother Leon, my brother, it's real. Do you feel like preaching? Do you feel like selling somebody? Do you feel like shouting to the top of your lungs? Do you feel like getting on the housetop and telling the world?
Yes, thank you, Jesus.
You talk about it. Man, I tell you what, when the church gets on fire like that, then look out, world, look out, devil, look out, then look up. Amen. Jesus is the reason. He made a new place for us. A new place. A new creation. A new dwelling place. Praise Him. Praise Him. Father, thank you this morning. Thank you this morning. Thank you this morning. Just raise your hand and say, thank you, Father. That's all I know to do. Just raise your hand and say, thank you, Father. Thank you this morning. In Jesus' name. Praise His name. You need something from the Lord. All you have to do is just open your heart and raise your hand and say, Lord, here I am. Fill me to the full, overflowing with your Spirit.
Thank you, Jesus.
Let the Holy Spirit come into me, Lord, and refresh me. Renew me in Christ. For that is where I long to be, it's what I want. Praise God. Do you feel the touch of the Lord this morning? All right, God bless you. God bless you. Have a happy new year. But it's always happy in Christ. It's always every day. Every day is better than the day before in Christ Jesus. Amen. Praise the Lord. Shake hands, love one another, be friendly. And you found me when I was so long. You found me when I was so blue. You found me when no one would help me. I didn't know just what to do. You let me walk with you, Jesus. Promised to never leave me. But without you, never make heaven my home. I've been on the mountain with Jesus, yes I have. I've been in the valley so but not one time has He failed me. Now to Him with my burden I go. Let me walk with you, sweet Jesus.
faith. But the thing is, we got him. Amen. Stand to your feet with me, everybody, would you?